a number of years ago, I used to refer my subscribers or anyone that asked me about silver, where should I buy some silver? Because this would have been around probably 2009, because I remember they were running out of silver. Eagles couldn't get them, and called around. The price had dropped. At one point, I know we got some Eagles when they hit like $10, and then something happened a little bit later where it dropped again, like whatever it was, $15, $16, it was down to 13 or something, and only thing I can get my hands on were these 100-ounce bars. I bought 2 of them. Long story short, I've already sold those suckers a long time ago, and then got coins. But I couldn't find them anywhere. The only place that had them at the time was a place called Monex. So I'd use them, and I bought some Eagles through them, silver Eagles. And then when I couldn't find anything else, I happened to contact them. They had the bars, so I'm like, you know what? Give them to me. So I referred some people to Monex, and at one point they were, if you referred someone over there and they spent more than like $3,000, they would give me like 3 coins in this nice little case or whatever. It was kind of like a thanks for referring somebody to me. So that was kind of cool. But it worked. They're a legit company, etc. Then one day I find some other places like Gainesville Coins and APMEX, and lately, which I haven't bought in a while, but when I have, I use JM Bullion. Had good luck with them. Prices are good. Some people I've referred to them said, fine, good experience, no problem. So I quit using APMEX altogether, and I think not for any real reason, I should say, not for APMEX anyways, but Monex, I definitely quit for good. One day they called me, this is 2-3 years ago. Hey, it's been a while since you haven't placed any orders, and blah blah blah, and just checking up, see if you're in the market, and see why you haven't placed any orders in such a while. And he's going on to tell me that they've got this new program at Monex, and it's basically something like you can buy your gold or silver and we'll store it for you safely. So you own it, but we'll store it for you. And I had to tell that fine gentleman, if you don't own it, hold it, you don't own it. Oh, but it's safe, it's secure, you've used us before. Yeah, but I don't. If I'm buying something, I'm gonna hold it and store it. Yeah, but we offer this new thing, and it was at that point I said, yeah, I don't like what I'm hearing, even though they do have bullion products that I bought from them. I don't like what I'm hearing. I don't like where you're going with this. I'm thinking to myself, I will never use them again, just because of that statement alone. Why? This is old. This is now old news as of a few days. I just got too much stuff going on right now. I'm too busy with stuff. Bullion Direct filed for bankruptcy in July, a few days ago, technically, admitting to not purchasing metals stored for customers. And this is someone's about someone who's did the research into this, read the documents, the bankruptcy. He's all over it. But it is not expected to be much. So it says it was said that Charles McAllister was literally the sole manager, sole operator, and sole employee, and that he is now dealing with the entirety of different issues. It was said that claimants believe they have metal or gold, silver metals in the vault, but they do not. At least not all of them. Regarding uncashed checks, it was stated that it is not clear yet whether those checks are part of the estate. If not, stopping payment is okay, otherwise it's not. The procedure for objecting to the check being deposited. In other words, they've filed for bankruptcy, and are asking the courts, can we still deposit these checks that people gave us for a product they want? Think about that for a second. You're filing for bankruptcy and you're asking the court, can I, there's some uncashed checks we have, can we go ahead and cash these? No! You're filing for bankruptcy. You cash those checks, the people aren't going to get anything out of it. You haven't cashed them now, and you're filing for bankruptcy, so the answer should be flat out no. So the procedure for objecting to the checks being cashed or deposited is to send a written objection to him and the U.S. trustee. No lawyer needs to be involved. It was said that they need to sort out ownership of the precious metals. A website will be set up where users can access their internal accounting records, or the entire database, not just what was normally displayed to the customers. Although they are not in a position to say whether IRAs were affected, the conclusion at this point is that they were. They have at least one meeting this month with a potential buyer of the assets. It was ended with Bullion Direct's attorney telling people that no matter how long they have practiced, the attorneys I guess, this case will have stuff in it that you've never seen before. 20 largest creditors are owed $4.3 million. Not JM Bullion. Bullion Direct has just filed an amended list of creditors holding 20 largest unsecured claims. The copy I have posted is redacted, as it looks like all 20 are Bullion Direct customers. And he lists the amounts. Note that this is not the list of creditors you need to verify that you are on. That will be filed at some time later. However, it gives an idea on the scale of what is owed. That list accounts for somewhere around 1 in 250 to 1 in 400 customers. They have total claims of about 4.3 million. These are likely the creditors that will be invited to join the unsecured creditors committee, which normally is made up of 7 largest unsecured creditors willing to serve. Update: all 20 of the creditors in this list also appear in the possible website claimant list. That list is incomplete. There may be as many as 60% more creditors. This suggests that the list includes somewhere around 20 of the 30 largest creditors, with the actual top 20 owed more like 5.3 million. These are just rough estimates, however. Employment application. Bullion Direct has filed an application for employment, requesting permission from the court to hire Unique Strategies Group, Inc. Hourly rates will range from $150 an hour to $300 an hour for Bullion Direct, and a flat $6,000 a month for 2 people for Nucleo, plus $150 for HR an hour for staff and analysts. USG would also get $150,000 of a liquidation plan or reorganization if it's approved within 7 months, or $100,000 if approved within 12 months. Next, I'm going to skip over the next paragraph, no point. Bad news: stored metal, non-existent. 2 documents were filed today: declaration of Dan Bensimon and joint stipulation regarding contents of vault. There's a lot of information in these documents. Most importantly, they show inventory of the IDS vault that I calculate as having a value of roughly $633,000 compared to the estimated $20 million of metal that Bullion Direct stored for customers. The declaration states, Bullion Direct interpreted the provisions of the terms and service agreement such that when a customer placed an order, the precious metal was not actually purchased unless the customer agreed to take actual delivery of the product. Key thing here: Bullion Direct interpreted our interpretation of our terms of service agreement. We've interpreted our own terms of service agreement and have decided what it means is that we are not actually purchasing those items for a customer unless they actually want it delivered to them. This is Bullion Direct. This is not the COMEX. This is not the paper market. This was hell, prior to a month ago, a legitimate company, no problems here, who decided to do what Monex did. We like to store your metals here, pay us now, we'll store them here. So my next question is, and I can't make any allegations, but my next question is, a company like Monex, and there's plenty of other ones to go around, who are doing that, are they doing the same thing? You pay for it, they're realizing, why we're going to store it here anyways, why waste the money? We'll just have good profits, and then when that customer ever asks for delivery of their product, we'll just go out and purchase it at that point. So you got to think about this. Owner of Bullion Direct in this case. I'm not going to buy the gold or silver that my customers have already paid me for. I'm just going to take the cash and leave it and put it in my bank. And if they ever ask for delivery, they decide not to store it with me, then I'll go out and buy it and give it to them. So here's one for you. We're talking about a commodity. Something that has never, ever, ever stayed at the exact same price for any length of time. Gold, silver, oil, corn, wheat, a commodity. In this case, gold, silver. They have never stayed at the same exact price for any length of time. So who in their right mind would think, I'm going to take my customer's money and just sit on it? Of course, use it for other purposes, but I'm going to sit on it. And if they ever ask for delivery of it, I'll go out in the market. What if you bought it today at 1100 and there's millions of dollars of orders to store it with you? And then in a month or two or three or 5 or 10 or a year, things are a little shaky, people are a little nervous, maybe they need to get their gold out. I'm going to make that phone call to Bullion Direct. Hey, Bullion Direct, I need to... Oh, they're not going to say we're going to go order it for you now on the market. No. Yes, sir, that'll be in the mail today or tomorrow. You know, we'll send it certified and insured, and okay, great. Oh, crap. What did that customer pay us a year ago? $1,100. He bought 2 ounces, so $2,200. Oh, man, gold's $1,800 an ounce right now. 18 plus 18, $3,600. Oh, man, I got to go out and spend $3,600 today. So here's the shocking part of this. Precious metals prices during this recent time, this whole year, let's say, haven't gone up, they've gone down a bit, right? So if anything, Bullion Direct should be sitting pretty because they've taken in money on the higher price of gold, sat on it, never went out and bought the gold. Now prices are lower. So if anyone's demanding delivery, it's cheaper to go out and get now. Perfect. So why the hell are you filing bankruptcy? That just goes to show you how much they blew the money, whatever. So point being, as I said a million times, if you don't hold it in your possession, you do not own it. Bullion Direct, in your face, everybody who thought it's so safe to do that. And I hope there's nobody watching this video right now that thinks that. Especially after I've been screaming it for so long. So, again, this was a storefront, etc. building, you know, no futures contracts, none of that stuff. And they were taking money and not buying the actual metal. How much do you want to bet the COMEX market, the CME group, the paper exchange, who's supposed to have the underlying asset for each individual contract they put out, which they don't and they've already admitted to, it's at least 100 to 1. 100 paper contracts, all for 5,000 ounces of silver each, times 100 contracts. We only have one thing of 5,000 ounces to back those. But because for so many years no one ever demands delivery, so few it's ridiculous, we can do that. Fractional reserve lending, if you will, in the paper market. So one could argue, well, then that means prices are depressed artificially because you are pretending that you have all this gold and silver and you can move the markets with all that gold and silver by selling it and buying it, and one hand sells it to the other, and it's this huge quantities you're seeing, billions of dollars in a day's trading, and it's not even the Vaults haven't changed. The actual vaults that hold any metal, they barely even move. But the paper is shuffled back and forth to the big banks, back to each other, back and forth, billions and billions, so that you can't possibly affect the price of gold and silver by you or me or a few people going out in the market and buying a futures contract and even demanding delivery, because there ain't enough people demanding delivery. However, even with those tiny few people who do demand delivery, and they're constrained on the market, the real market, the physical market, as you've seen recently, everything's dried out. Mint, U.S. Mint, oh, we're going to ration Silver Eagle sales, and they refuse to report the last day of Silver Eagle sales of July. They refused to report the last day of July Silver Eagle sales. They just counted that one out. Let's skip it. Why? Because it was on par with the record this year. It was going to beat it. All they had to do was count that last day of July, which was a business day. And come Monday, August 3rd, oh hey, or was it the Tuesday, whatever it was, hey, updated tally. Nope, we're leaving it off the books so that we don't have to show the world we had a record-breaking sales month of this year. They left it off. So keep in mind, I know I talk about the COMEX, the CME group, those two are like that, the bankers, the club. You now have just witnessed the United States Treasury being complicit in the cover-up of the true demand for precious metals by purposefully leaving that data off on the last day of the month, which would have absolutely taken it to the new record of this year. The highest this year so far would have been end of July. They decided, well, we're just, for some reason, Thursday, Friday comes out, leave Friday off. Don't worry about it. Next week, we're in the new month. Forget about it. Forget about it. The U.S. Mint is now complicit, which goes to show you they've always been complicit. And if the U.S. Mint can continuously be short on precious metals, especially silver like they always are, and by law says they have to have a sufficient supply to meet demand, in which the rules changed a couple years ago that says, well, now the United States Treasury Secretary gets to determine solely when that is actually true. Last time I checked, it's when you don't have the damn product. That's when it's insufficient. And when you continually have months that are insufficient, deficit, we don't have any product, that, to me, and any moron on the face of the earth would say, you know what, that shows that you don't have enough. You need to have more in stock, more blanks, more rounds, whatever, of silver, so you can stamp them with your nice little machine that puts the beautiful Silver Eagle on there and the Walking Liberty Lady, whatever. Well, not walking, but Lady Liberty on the other side. Nope. We'll just continue making people wait. So it makes you wonder, is the Treasury purposely doing this? Answer, yes. And reason being, not that they just keep running out and there's a shortage issue and that's why, because that could be why, by the way. They just can't get their hands on enough silver blanks to meet up with the real demand. Or, and this might even be an and/or, they're allowing the shortage to happen purposefully so that they can't meet the demand on purpose, because if they met that demand, they would find there's even more demand, and they meet that demand, there's even more demand, and now they've just sold so much freaking silver, it's unbelievable. And now their supply is really strained. So they're rationing it. That makes perfect sense. They're rationing it to forcefully slow down sales, so people don't understand and hear these record-breaking numbers and say, whoa. When I turn on the mainstream media lately, especially, there's 4 or 5 of these guys out there telling you why they said gold was bad, and just look at the market and look at the price. We told you it was going down, and it went down, and And while these morons are speaking these words of crap, people aren't buying it. Why? Go look at the numbers. They're buying left and right precious metals. So once again, Bullion Direct, which doesn't deal with futures contracts or any paper markets, chose to take people's money and not buy the product, and said, based on our interpretation of our terms and conditions, we can do that. What in the hell kind of sense does that? How could you ever buy anything from anybody and them say, well, based upon my thoughts on how our exchange went between you and me, you were supposed to give me money for something, and on a piece of paper I was going to write down that I owe you that something whenever you ask for it, and never even go buy it? What the hell kind of interpretation? What are we, some kind of morons? Unbelievable. Take care.